Awesome. Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the MASONRY Strong Podcast. Today I'm joined by Paul Cantarella. Paul, how you doing?
I'm doing excellent, Justin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How was your flight in?
It was not too bad, actually.
Not too bad?
A little layover, but other than that, I can
nice.
say no issues.
Where are you coming in from?
Massachusetts.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
What's that like during this time of the year?
It's still pretty warm. Can be
Still pretty
pretty
warm?
can get pretty humid. So
Yeah, gotcha.
It's been a little rainy the last couple of days, but it's still been pretty humid this summer.
Nice. So I know you've been in the industry for a long time. You've been in the industry since you were a kid, correct?
Yes.
You started working when you were a kid.
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, I had to be going 9, 10, probably with my father to job meetings, going to the jobs and stuff, just driving around the truck and
Yeah.
sitting on forklifts down at the shop, pretending I'm driving them, I guess, and just hanging around the shop as much as I could.
Did you always enjoy being on, job sites and stuff like that, and just around the whole industry?
Yes,
Yeah.
always. It was the biggest thing that if I got to go to a job, that and sometimes people have to bring maybe they bring equipment or something to the job, and my favorite thing was like if I could get to go take a ride with that guy or something to go to the job. So it was the coolest thing ever for me.
Nice. So I guess as you got older, when did you really, around what age did you really get into the industry? Did you go to an academy to learn how to lay brick? Did you continue working for Cantarella and Son? Is that your parents' company, Cantarella?
It was, yes, it was my grandfather started it around 1936. I want to say he started getting into the business to start his business. I feel like it was even younger because I feel like by 12, I was spending my summers at the office, greasing screw jacks, redoing braces, just goofy stuff. But that was my summer. My mom would always go in maybe for 8, a little bit later, so I didn't have to get up so early. My mom would bring me in, and that was my summer. So I mean, from there on out, I worked every summer.
Yeah. So it's always been something you wanted to do, this industry.
Yes.
Being involved.
I always did. My mom always did try to push me away. She wanted me to have. I think she saw how hard things could be. Maybe saw things with my father and my other cousins that were already coming up. Maybe. So she was just. I think she just wanted me to have an option. I don't. That I didn't have to do it, but I never once thought of anything else.
That's awesome. Well, I know you're a huge, component and a huge person in the MCAA. You're on the board. What has that been like?
Yeah. So again, I'll go back. I've been on the board. This will be my 3rd year now. It's been a big step. Something I would have never thought I would have gotten into. I'm glad I have, but it's just I have a lot of big shoes to fill. Especially this will be my 10th year, and I think back of the people that led since I've been coming. I don't think I fill a quarter of their shoes, so I got a lot. I have a lot to do to keep up keep up with everybody else that's been ahead of me before me.
Well, I've been with the MCA for a year. You've been doing great. Let you know that you've been doing great.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. And like you said, you've been. You grew up in. Did you grow up in Massachusetts?
Yes.
You've just been there your whole life.
Yeah. Actually, I bought the house that I grew up in, so that's where I live now. Yeah.
Awesome. Did you fix it up yourself or just keep it the same?
No, it's pretty. Just like we've done a little bit, maybe the kitchen over, but for the most part, actually, I laugh because I say the kitchen, and that was my father's worst thing because I actually had nice brick. He had all this brickwork he had in there.
Really?
And I remember when I got done with it, it's like, why'd you take all the brick down? Like added something new, And he's got a beautiful fireplace, a stone fireplace that he built. So it's pretty cool.
You a Red Sox fan?
I'm more of the motorsports guy, but yes, I am definitely Red Sox Patriot fan. Yes,
motorsports. That's awesome. I saw someone riding an ATV around here. Are you into ATVs or is it?
I got side by sides, but I have a dirt bike.
Nice.
I do motocross, and I have snowmobiles. I actually used to do snowcross back in the day too. Yeah.
How long have you been riding dirt bikes?
Dirt bikes. Got to be 21. I had 4-wheelers. My mother would never let me have a dirt bike, so when I got older, I got to have a dirt bike. So I've been always on something for since I was a kid.
Do you race? Do you compete?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes. Usually we've been doing motocross last 5 years.
Wow.
I actually got two championships in my classes. It's a slow and old man class, so I get it. But it's been a dream for me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Something I always never thought I'd do in a million years. Probably just like being on the MCAA board, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. What did it feel like getting your first championship in motocross? It was like, because it's a hobby, you know?
It was overwhelming because I never thought I could ride a dirt bike and go do a motocross race or nothing. So it was pretty high life of my life, to tell you the truth.
Do you have a favorite course you've ever ridden on?
Where the series I do, it's the same track. So, and actually they have a track across the street sometimes we go to, but it's more or less I go to the same place. Makes it a little easier on me, especially being old and slow class.
Is it in Massachusetts?
Yeah, it's in New Hampshire.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, how far is that drive?
Hour, 20 minutes probably.
Really?
So it's a nice, easy ride.
Awesome.
Nice.
And do you have kids?
Yeah, I have. Awesome. I have 2 daughters.
Nice. And I know, just kind of relating it back to the industry, you're friends with a lot of people in the industry that are members with the MCAA. EasyG, I know, you're a huge component, cheerleader for them. Talk to me about that relationship.
Yeah, so the Easy Grout thing, really, that comes from growing up with a family business. I had my father and his brother, my uncle, and then I had my 3 other cousins that were in the business. They were older than me, so they were definitely well more into it. And I always had a lot of thoughts when I'd be, I'd work out in the field. Sometimes they'd let me in the office a little bit, and just things that I would think about, like I think we could do better, just different thoughts. And Damien had this article in the magazine every month, and it was like I was reading the gospel. It was just like, man, like maybe I'm not that crazy. Like he's kind of saying some stuff like I kind of feel about, and like, or he'll be talking about something like, what, why couldn't you do it that way? Like why does my family do it that way? Like there are other ways where, like, I think it gave me a lot of hope. My mom used to always say, you're going to have to figure out when it's your turn to run how you're going to want things. So it just every month that was probably what I probably opened it up to that article every time. So I mean, and honestly, I had a folder. I saved them. I still have it somewhere that I would save all of his articles.
That's awesome.
So for me, then carry it forward, where I finally got to come to the MCA and joined. And meeting actually my first meeting some of the Easy Grout guys. And I was like, to me, I was like, oh man, you work at Easy Grout? Like, and then like getting to meet Damien, and I know a lot of people, my friends in the MCA probably laugh at me because of how I look at Damien, but just the hope that he gave me when I was growing up by reading his articles kept me strong to keep going and keep pushing. It's hard to explain, I guess. And maybe just because of where I lived out, and my father would always be like, we're just a mom and pop masonry company, and just never thought nothing about it. And just his stuff, it's just, like I said, it meant everything to me. And then to be able to meet him, actually at one of the parties in Vegas, one of his things, I brought like one of the articles, like one that meant a lot to me. And I had him sign it and stuff. Awesome. And I had my picture with him. And I mean, I have pictures at my office that I got that day with him. And I even have one at my house, I think of it, So it's those, and it's, to me, they're like the pinnacle. So like to be able to hang out with those guys, and them guys they treat me like I work there. I mean, honestly. Yeah. It's the coolest thing ever to me. So that's awesome. It's pretty cool.
Going again, you were in this industry since you were a kid. You've seen it grow. You've seen it peaks and valleys of it. What is the biggest thing that as far as innovation, that you've seen since you were a kid? And is there anything where you're like, God, I wish I had that when I was, really starting out?
Oh man,
because there's been so much.
Honestly, there's a lot of robotics out there and stuff, and I haven't really gotten my hands too much on that. But we're going to laugh at it, but it would have to be the Easy Grout, Grout Hog.
Oh, really?
Honestly, it was one of the biggest things for me growing up that I wish I had when I was younger.
Yeah. Have you ever been to their booth at World of Concrete?
Oh, yeah. Yes. I actually, I go out 3-4 days early and help set up the booth.
Oh, really?
Yes, the last couple of years.
Nice. Do you guys have a booth at all?
No.
No? Okay.
So, no. Between that and just trying to jump back and forth the MCA booth and trying to get people engaged.
Awesome. Do you like World of Concrete? Do you look forward to going every year?
I do.
Yeah.
Definitely not as much as a mid-year.
Okay.
but I do like going to Vegas because for me, it's also like when the Bricklayer 500 and, you know, watching those guys out there, out in the lots and seeing the young kids where, you know, makes you feel better. There are still kids out there that, you know, there is still a future. And then on top of that, watching those guys lay those blocks. I did that a couple times. Just for me, it was just a like, holy moly, I saw it in the magazine. I just wanted to do it. But people will never realize how much weight those guys pick up in that time frame. It's mind blowing, and I don't think people really comprehend it. And just as much for those guys laying those brick. It's pretty astonishing. And at the end of the day, you could probably put most of those walls anywhere and they're going to pass.
Yeah. And being a kid who would, you know, read about the masonry industry in the newspaper, there are a lot of kids, you know, coming out of high school, don't really know what they want to do with their lives. You know, it's very common, more common than not. What would you say to someone, since you're so passionate about the industry, that is on the fence about doing this? They don't know if they can fully commit. What would you say to convince them?
You know what? You're killing me with my daughter right now. Is trying to figure out what she wants to do, and it made me start thinking like I never had to think that, and I can't imagine being at that age going, what am I going to do the rest of my life? You know, so I mean, again, I go back to it. Like I tell my guys, even like you gotta want to get up in the morning. My big thing is this: you gotta want to get up in the morning. Maybe you don't get up and do a cartwheel, but at least you get up and you want to go to work. Masonry. I mean, first and foremost, you can make a great life for your family, and that's the biggest thing. Secondly, there's nothing better than driving around and seeing your work. You know, 60% of projects, your masonry project, it's the exterior.
Yeah.
What do people see? That's what they see. What does the electrician go, oh, you know, I did the wires in there. You don't see that. You know what I mean? You literally are seeing the outside of it, and that's by far is the coolest thing. And I know everybody like always makes a joke like you get to drive around and see the buildings and point them out. I mean, my kid laughs when the target at home. You know, I mean, but I know I laid those blocks and laid that base out. You know what I mean? And you just I don't know. And you know what? I'm gonna get. My father always said, you get paid to get work. You get paid to go do workout. Yeah. It's very rewarding. Is all I can say. And again, it's in what you can learn in the craft and what you can do. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome. And you know, as we're wrapping up here, last question I'm going to ask you is, what does Masonry Strong mean to you?
Boy, Masonry Strong. That's as simple as the pyramids.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think back of how long that stuff's been up and still sitting. I mean, what else exemplifies Masonry Strong? I mean, literally, like.
Nothing competes.
That and my other favorite one is the story of the Three Little Pigs. We all learned it as a little kid, and it's so true.
Yeah.
And everybody laughs about it, but it's the truth.
It is.
It really is. And I mean, those are the perfect examples of Masonry Strong.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Paul, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it, and we will see all you next time.
Awesome. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate it.
Of course.